loves, Joy, girl from Runaway, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I am back coming to you all with the Iyanla Fix My Life Season 8, Episode 3, My Marriage is None of Your Business, alright? So we have a black couple, and they are struggling to save their marriage because their marriage is dead. So upon arrival, they have the wife and the husband come in, and Iyanla asks for them to be blindfolded, okay? So upon taking their blindfolds off, they are presented with like 3 or 4 doors. Each of the doors have like statements on them like, run for the hills, I should have married this hoe. So like, now I didn't say stuff like that, but it was similar to it. So the wife chose without the husband knowing, and vice versa. The wife ended up choosing the door, if you only knew. And the husband chose the door. What did he choose, girl? Come on, brain. What did he choose? Oh, he chose, I made my bed, so now I gotta lay in it. Which, you know, Iyanla is good for her props, and sometimes we need something in the physical world that's tangible to see, you know, and understand the work that we're doing in the situation that we're in. They're both okay with their options and their choices. Like, yeah, that sounds about right, which is very, very telling. Iyanla takes the statements that's on the doors and put them onto name tags, and she's like, listen, you gotta wear it. And that is so true, because that's what you're walking around with. That's your attitude. If you have a fuck it, can't do attitude, that is who you're coming up. That's who you're showing up as. So understanding how she's using these props are making me think about things in a different way, especially with just like the day-to-day daily tasks. Sometimes we need to have something tangible in our hand, here it is, to kind of recognize it and talk about it and address it and eventually correct it. Of course, that goes without being said, but y'all, we gotta say it over here. The couple have been married for 6 years. They have 11 kids in total. I'm like, damn, okay, 11 kids. Who's having 11 kids in today's economy? 2 of those kids are they had together, and she had 2 from a different marriage or a different relationship, and he has however many is left over, because child, we're not about to do the math over here. So they say that the oldest is 29 and the youngest is 3, and I'm just like, girl, Lord Jesus is the fire. Iyanla asked them to discuss their love story, and it's pretty simple. They met at work, they were flirting, she thought he was cute, she thought she was fine, and all this and all of that. After 3 months of dating, they move in with each other, or he moved in with her. 6 months after that, they decided to get married. And I'm just like, girl, in what world? In what world are these people living in? And then not only that, I mean, listen, I don't know. I ain't even about to do it. But we all know that some women can't even get dates, let alone she out here married in 6 months. Sis, not to say that I'm glorifying their marriage, but listen, that was really quick. Iyanla asked Idris, I think that's how they were pronouncing it, where was the breakdown? He pretty much just says, well, we have a disconnect because I can't communicate, and she blah blah blah. He was just like, no, tell me what do you think? How are you feeling? And I liked how she corrected that, because it's so easy to place blame onto other things when you're not even talking about it. You're just so quick to be like, oh, he, she, her, we, but you're not even figuring out what it is that you feel like. You feel me? She just asks, you know, if you had to leave this relationship, what do you feel like? And he just says, I want to run. We have kids, but you know, I don't want to leave them. And sometimes I get in the car and I try to leave, but I just can't leave. Like, girl, I'm just like, how can you know you want to be with a man who really is like 1 foot in and 1 foot out? That's terrible. That's a terrible place to be. And that's exactly what Iyanla speaks to. You can't be halfway in and halfway out. It's never going to work. And I want y'all to apply, and I'm saying this out loud, I'm saying it to myself, apply this to real life things. You can't be halfway in. You can't half-ass shit, because you're going to have a half-ass result. When you use your whole ass, okay, you get whole ass results. Quote me on this, y'all. I mean, like, am I lying or not? Iyanla comes to the realization that one is in and one is out. The husband is halfway in. The woman is kind of in. Girl, it's just a mess. She does ask her hard questions like, are y'all in love? And the husband quickly, no. The wife was kind of like, no, but I love him so much, and da 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 da. And I think that her answer would have changed. Would have been different, I'm sorry, if the husband didn't go first, because she obviously loves this man. And Iyanla asks what's the #1 challenge in a relationship, and they both agree that it's communication. They talk about the business that they started 5 years ago and how they're struggling in their marriage, and they're struggling as business partners. They're just struggling all the way around the board. Iyanla dismisses the husband. The wife immediately breaks down, and obviously it was hard to hear that, you know, he didn't choose that. I married my dream woman. Like, every woman in a relationship wants to be with a man who thinks that I'm your dream woman. Come on now. Like, it's that simple. That's hard to hear too. And instead of her saying that and being honest, you know, that it was hard to hear, she kind of just kept a wall, like a blank face. And that kind of lets me know that she puts up a wall. So she's probably hard to communicate to if she's putting on the face and not really showing and bearing her true emotion. Iyanla just asked for the breakdown, like, girl, what is the tea? Are you financially dependent on him? And she's like, yeah, kind of. I mean, I just got a job. That's not answering the question, sis. Can you walk away today if you wanted to? And ladies, this is why it's so important to have your own bag. Ladies, this is so important to have your own bag, because when you have your own money, when you have your own coins, it doesn't matter the type of man that you deal with. Period. You know what I'm saying? You have the option to choose who I want to deal with. But if you're dependent on him financially, what are your options? And we all know we're only as strong as our options. So if you want to walk around here looking like, oh, I want to find me a man that's financially, you know, stable or capable, that's all fine and well. But make sure you are the same, because if you decide, I'm out of here, you need to be out of here. Get your coins, collect your things, and go. When you're dependent on him, girl, you got to tough it out. And nobody wants to be in that situation. Iyanla is just like, you know, listening to her, trying to understand the rationale of a woman that would marry a man after knowing him only 6 months. Next scene, Iyanla sits down with the husband, and he pretty much explains that his mom and dad were a broken family. They got a divorce. The mom dropped him off at the grandmom's house and didn't come pick him back up until he was 8. So Iyanla was like, so you're abandoned. He was just looking all stupid. And that's the thing. Sometimes we don't call a thing and don't put our name on certain things. So we don't know what it is. And we're just going on through life like, oh, yeah, I don't know. You were abandoned, okay? We see that so much when black men say, oh, yeah, I got head at 9. No, you were molested at 9. You know what I'm saying? Like, call a thing, period. Not only that, you know, it also comes out that he missed a lot of developmental things just as a man. You know, it's important for women, and it's important especially for men, because men are going to be the head of households. So he lets Iyanla know that it was her idea for the business. He really didn't want to do the business, but he just decided to because she suggested it. He's just like, oh, so you're just going along with your mother's saying. And he's looking again like all weird. Yes, if you have daddy issues, if you have mommy issues that have been gone unaddressed, those issues are gonna show up in your relationships. Period. There's no other way to flip it or dip it. The man was obviously visibly, physically uncomfortable, and Iyanla again lets him know you're a 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You have no accountability, you have no ownership of your life, and you're just letting it all fall apart. And the next scene, they have a bedroom exercise where he puts all the lemons on the bed, and you know, Iyanla sits them down like, are you here for the marriage or are you here for the relationship? They both agree to sit on the marriage side, and they're having a, you know, face to face real conversation. He feels like she doesn't respect him. She feels like he doesn't respect her. So the wife starts going off like, oh, well, you know, he comes home, he's lazy, he just goes to sleep, and he doesn't do anything, he doesn't help out with the kids. In the man's defense, he says, well, I work 12 hours a day, and I'm a 47-year-old man. I'm tired. If I work 12 hours, I want to come home and chill. Not only that, I'm paying for everything. I want to chill. I want to relax. I want to be in this house with kick feet up. She goes on to say, but you're so disorganized. You like to live in chaos. You haven't filed your business taxes in 5 years. Iyanla's like, wait. So you have a business. You haven't filed taxes. Whose responsibility was that? And he said, oh, I thought my wife was going to do it. And she said, well, did y'all have an agreement? And they're looking at each other like, no, we never had an agreement. So they have foundational issues. When you don't have a clear understanding of what the role is, I need you to do this, babe, I need you to do that. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And although, you know, the fact that he works and he feels like he can't help out with the kids. I mean, they have 11 kids. 11 children, okay? And only 2 of them are hers, or 4 of them are hers. You mean to tell me you can't help out with none of these kids here? I mean, I understand that you work and everything, but listen, it's a job. I understand that you have a job and you have these things, but taking care of your home is a job too, and we all live here. So he doesn't respect her enough to be like, all right, well, let me pitch in. Even if I'm just helping out with my kids, ain't no way in the hell I'm chasing around 11 children, and because you work, you can't come home and do nothing? Come on now, that's unfair. It's unfair to both people. They need to communicate in order to, you know, be able to be okay with handling small tasks and vice versa. Iyanla was floored about the 5-year tax thing or whatever, and I know the IRS is somewhere lurking like, oh, for real? But honestly, husband goes on to say, I didn't ask her to file my taxes because I don't trust her. And he said, don't trust her? What do you mean? I don't trust her to get the job done. And I was just like, damn, that's a hurt piece. But I'm also in the same breath like, How you want to tell this woman you don't trust her to get the job done, but she the one who gave you the idea for the business and started you all up and supported you do it. Now the business is thriving. All of a sudden you don't trust her, you know. But that's a whole nother thing to get into. That's just me, y'all. Iyanla breaks it down and say, no, baby, it's not that you don't trust her. You don't trust yourself. And that is the biggest issue in relationships. You can't be out here saying, I don't trust you and I don't trust this, but you don't even trust yourself to make the right decisions. You have no ownership. You have no accountability. And then honestly, I feel like they are both emotionally underdeveloped. So what they can give to each other are so limited because they never gave anything to themselves. Anyways, y'all, the wife continues talking about, you know, your kids is lazy, they don't get up, they sleep all day, the kids do exactly what you do, which is true. If you want to be around here being a lazy, if the kids only see you going to work and going to sleep, what you think the kids are going to do? So we have to be an example for our children regardless of what. And the way that she's saying it was really naggy. Iyanla says, you know what, I'm a switch positions. You sit here and I'm gonna sit here. And Iyanla, turned to the man and she said, baby, I'm just really kind of concerned about the kids, and did this whole spiel on a way that you can kind of connect to him. Because here's the thing, we can't be out here yang 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 yang, even in everyday life situations, because you're not going to be heard. You attract way more bees with honey than you do vinegar. The woman has to communicate with the man in a way that he can receive it. Even if you have a good message, it's not going to get through to him if you coming at him with all of this. You get what I'm saying? Or anybody for that matter. If I'm like, yeah, fuck y'all, subscribe to my channel, you're less likely to subscribe. But if I'm like, yeah, subscribe and like and share if you care, it's a difference. It's not about what you say, it's how you say it. And I think that a lot of people, I don't even want to say women, a lot of people struggle with that, being able to communicate with their partner, being able to communicate effectively in general. Iyanla takes the woman outside, and she asks him privately, who are you accountable to? And he just thought about it like, nobody, myself. And Iyanla says it's dangerous for a man to not be accountable to anybody but himself. And I agree with that completely, because you out here just doing what the hell you want to do. You need somebody to kind of pull your tail close and check you. Hey, bruh, that's not okay. Sis, I don't think you should do that. So he's like, I'm Muslim, but I ain't really practicing right now. So you just out here willy-nilly in this life. No wonder your shit is all over the place. I like the fact that she dismissed the wife. That was appropriate, because sometimes, it's not appropriate for a woman to be around when a man is in a vulnerable state or has to be spoken to or whatever, because I'm looking at you as my man and you getting chastised by this woman or whatever the case may be. Much like certain things our men don't need to know is things that we don't need to know about them and their development, which, I struggle with, because I'm the type to be like, well, tell me, well, what's wrong, and da-da-da-da. But the truth is, it's some things that as a woman, I just know, like, yeah, whatever the case, he ain't got to know that. And that was a moment that it was appropriate to ask the wife to leave so she could speak to that man directly without, beating him down in front of his wife. Iyanla asked the man to write a prayer for her husband, and the wife vice versa write a prayer for each other, which I really, really liked. That was a dope idea. On day 2, Iyanla's having tea with the wife, and she's like, well, tell me how you feeling. She said, well, honestly, I feel like I'm more of the problem than I thought. And I was just like, good for you, good awareness. And not only that, good accountability. It's hard for people to say that. It's hard for people to recognize that and then say it, okay? So then Iyanla tells her to put on this bonnet and to put on this robe, and she's just like, yeah, look at yourself. And she's like, what do you see? And she's like, I look a mess. And she's like, yeah, how can you be, your husband's seductress and you walking around looking like how you looking? And here's when this shit get a little shady. It says that men, you have to play to their visual side. Men, we all know men are visual creatures, okay? It's just the honest truth. It just is what it is. The unfortunate thing is, as women, we gotta, be the maid, be the cook, be the CEO, help him with this, you know what I'm saying? Take care of the kids, make sure the house is straight, be the encourager, encourage yourself, all right? You gotta do a whole bunch of things. Then on top of that, you gotta play sex kitten, okay? But then also do all of these things with a smile on your face, okay? So I understand how a lot of women get out of touch with their appearance, but let's not forget that men are visual creatures. But that's just one of those things about having balance in your life. But Iyanla played the girl for having a hairstyle that was like, she said, I don't want you looking like no 14-year-old. and the hairstyle was very juvenile. I really do, but they ended up giving her a makeover and straightened her hair. And she's like, I want you to look like a grown woman. So grown woman does not necessarily equal straightened hair. You know what I mean? They could have gave her a natural style, but I get it. It's for TV. But Mus Mama, she came out. She had on her red lips. She had on her black dress with the exposed back detailing. She looked beautiful, and she was talking to the husband. She said, "Listen, I got a surprise for you." The wife comes out, and he's looking at her like, "Yeah, look at my wife. She actually looked like something." So they have a sit down, and the sit down, it's just real that they want to work on their relationship. And he read the prayer that he wrote for his wife. It was beautiful. He actually dropped a couple tears. I thought, like, damn, I want a man to write me a prayer and drop some tears. That's real life. Iyanla said it too, like, you know what, brother, you got something going on with this girl. Anyways, y'all, they discuss how their marriage should be, and at the end, they're at a crossroads, and it's like, we're in and we're out, and they obviously choose that we're in. And this was a really good episode. This was a really, really relatable episode. I think that a lot of people just get lost in life and in their relationship. It suffers. And there are so many breakdowns when it comes to communication. If you have two willing hearts to be there for one another and you are unable to communicate, the love suffers. So I think that a lot of people can get a lot from this episode. And I'm just here. Iyanla did what she had to do. Give this video a thumbs up, like and share if you care. Also subscribe and hit the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I make a video. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.